Today I'm going to be doing my July 2021 wrap-up. Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well and that you've had a great summer so far. I just got back from vacation, so this is going to be a very late wrap-up, but here we go. So I'm going to do them all in order. So I read the entire Wallflowers series this month, and I'm going to do a separate video on all of those. So all I'm going to do is give you the name, who was in it, and what my general star rating is for this one, and head over to that other video that'll be coming out in a couple weeks for my full thoughts on all of these. First one was Secrets of a Summer Night, and that was Annabelle and Simon Hunt. Then it was It Happened One Autumn, which was Lillian and Westcliff. Then Devil in Winter, Evie and St. Vincent, and then Scandal in Spring, which was Daisy and Michael. I had to look down at my notes for all of those. And then there was like a short Christmas one that had to do with one of the brothers that I read also. So I'll be including that in later. But basically they were all 3-4 stars. Some I liked a little bit more than others, but in general, this has been my favorite Lisa Kleypas series of all of the ones I've read. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the single ones that I read. So I read 8 books this month, and those 4, and then these 3. No, those 5, and then these 3. Okay, so the next book that I read after that was Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. This is a YA story about, it actually follows another girl named Evie, except her name is Yvette or Yvonne or something like that. I think it might be Yvette. And X. So this is a young adult book. This is about a girl who has fallen out of love with love. And she's just, something took place in her life having to do with her parents, and it's really kind of just given her a negative outlook on something that she used to love. She used to be really into romance novels, and now everything's just kind of lackluster and ruined. Well, one day she ends up walking to this little library, like you know those things that are like posted out on the street, and she finds it basically empty except for this pamphlet that says Instructions for Dancing, and it's got the number of a dance hall. She ends up after this, after seeing this like weird lady, developing this weird ability that basically every time she sees a couple kiss, she sees the entire trajectory of their love story and exactly how they're gonna end. And instead of seeing like the beautiful, nice journey, she basically sees all of these and thinks that they're all gonna end in horrible despair. However, she ends up deciding to go to the dance studio, and when she does, she meets X, who she then becomes partners with to enter into the LA Dance Hall competition, where they're gonna learn basically amateur dance. It is so cute. This story, it was such a nice refresher to have just something like super easy, super light. I mean, I don't usually read a whole lot of YA, and this was just, it was absolutely adorable. Yeah, I mean, just there's not much to say about it. It was a very cute YA about a dancing couple, and it does hit on some emotional triggers at the end, but all in all, it was very light, very cute. I recommend this to anyone. It's a good one. Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. After that, I read the selection for my book club. I'm in a book club in town, and we're actually getting through a bunch of them. I'm really proud of us. But this selection was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I'm not gonna lie, I hated it. I was really expecting to like this book, and I did not like it at all. I gave it 2 stars because the writing was actually beautiful. But basically it follows, as the narrator, we're following Nora. She decides that she no longer wants to live. She's very demoralized with her life, and basically decides to take matters into her own hands and commit suicide. When she does, she wakes up in this midnight library where all of the books are potential situations or potential ways in which her life could have gone had she made X, Y, or Z choice. So she kind of spends some time going through all of those. And I guess the thing that I didn't, well, first off, I just kind of found it very boring. But really, I just kind of felt like we ended up in somewhat of a predictable place without there being enough payoff for me. So it isn't one I would necessarily recommend. However, caveat, about 50% of the book club loved it, absolutely loved it. There were maybe about 10 or 12 of us, so I think that's not bad. There were a couple people that didn't enjoy it so much. Other people really, really loved it. So as a whole, I think people generally loved it. I think I'm on the minority of this one, but not one of my favorites. So that was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. After that, I finished the month off with an incredible gem. I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This book was absolutely gorgeous. It follows Hercules and, I'm sorry, not Hercules. It follows Achilles and Patroclus until the death of Achilles. And it's written so beautifully. It's a Greek myth retelling, obviously. If you've seen Troy, it's pretty similar, except totally different. This was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. This was absolutely 5 stars. I cried at the end. Oh my goodness. It was heartbreaking, and it's so nice to get. So I really enjoy Greek myth retellings, and this was just so emotionally driven. The characters were just so deep. Also, personal fan. It gives you information of all of the Greek gods at the end and how they're all related, especially for all the players in the Trojan War, which you get to at the later end of this one. I can't recommend this one enough. This is one that has been so hyped on Book Talk, on BookTube, on everything basically, and it is worth every bit of that hype. If you like Greek myth retellings, if you like Greek mythology or mythology at all, hell, if you like good, well-written stories, read this. It's beautiful. So that was not a whole lot to be said. And honestly, it's like, it manages to be beautiful even though you know the entire story pretty much, which is fantastic. So that is The Song of Achilles. I would love to find someone, if you disliked this one, please tell me why, because man, I would love to have that discussion with you. I've only heard people just absolutely adore this one. I think it merits everything. Otherwise, you will see me coming up here soon with my Wallflowers video, where I'm going to be doing an in-depth discussion about all of the books in the Wallflowers series. I also have a review of Devil in Disguise, Lisa Kleypas' newest release, coming up pretty shortly here. So I'll catch up with you guys soon. I hope you guys had a great reading month. See you next time.